Thank you. Let me just start off by saying, being raised in the 60s, days of segregation, this is truly deja vu. One thing that I did learn through my growth of over the years is that hate is not passed down in our genes. It's taught or untaught. What we're seeing here is hate being perpetuated. We keep people segregated, keep them from building bridges of trust, never allowing them to find commonality. Teach them that everything that's going wrong in their life is because of somebody else's actions. Then teach them to look at our differences, our color, creed, and culture, and then teach them to judge each other. It's dehumanizing, it robs people of individuality, but the end game, if it is hate, it is very effective. We teach one race, all minorities, that they are oppressed. Do DEI, we then teach another race, whites and Jews, that they're oppressors. The result is hatred, segregation, the inability for our children to see evil when it's present. One of my Democratic colleagues was asked recently about the use of strategy by Hamas to rape Jewish women and children, girls and women, as terror. Her response was not to defend these women against these evil men, but that she wanted to discuss hierarchical oppression. That is DEI. It is a failure to protect Jewish communities across our country at your universities. And let me just say this also. October 7th was a very different day in our lifetime. And yet, every single time we're talking about antisemitism, we some kind of way drift off into every other sense of racism. We're talking about 1,200 lives, babies being burned, beheaded, hostages, and yet we cannot stay focused on antisemitism. I just remember a couple of years ago when we were dealing with Black Lives Matter, try to talk about Blue Lives Matter, Jew Lives Matter, Arab Lives Matter, and you'd be called a racist. It's time for us to focus on what's happening on your campuses. And it might sound flowery, all the ideas of what your values might be, but those values are not being translated to our kids. You've seen them in the streets every single day. MIT, we heard from a university student here that DEI official liked on the most posts on their media, a post calling President Biden a liar for saying that Hamas beheaded babies. She also posted a saying that Israel doesn't have the right to exist, is illegitimate settler colony like the United States. I have a question regarding this idea of segregation, Dr. Gay. Harvard is now have graduations for Black-only graduates, Hispanic-only graduates, and gay-only graduates. How does that bring us together as opposed to dividing us based on color, creed, and all the other things? And by the way, is it okay for a white group to say we don't want other minorities to be part of our graduation?
Thank you for the question. There are few scenes that are more inspiring than being.
I'm sorry. I'm going to ask you in a way that's going to be very quick because I have a little time. Is it okay to segregate people based on their color? Yes or no?
I oppose segregation.
Okay, well, I do too, but it's happening on your campus, okay? Dr. Kornbluth, I'm sorry. We have on your campus something called Chocolate City, where Black-only dorms, where whites are excluded. Is it okay also for whites to set up a white-only dorm where minorities are excluded?
You know, actually at MIT, our students affiliate voluntarily with whichever dorm they want to. It's not exclusionary, it's actually positive selection by students which dormitory they want to live in.
Okay, so it's okay for Blacks to not make whites feel included. Is it okay for whites not to let Blacks feel included on your campus? We're talking about segregation, and it's obviously happening on your campuses.
You know, I think it's really important to say that there's a distinction between sending an exclusionary message and looking to other students for common experiences and support.
Okay. Let me just. I'm sorry, I'm running out of time. And what you're saying is very simply, in 1960s, it would have been okay for whites and Blacks to segregate themselves because they felt more like the people they're with. I disagree very, very much. But let me just say this: if in case we discover, and this is for everybody here, real quick, in the last few minutes, that there's a direct link from DEI and CRT to the growth of Marxist-centrist groups like BLM, Antifa, and the pro-Hamas on campuses, would you then end the DEI initiatives on your campus? If there's a link between what that is and what the result of hatred, would that be would that be finished on your campus real quickly? We have just yes or no. Dr. Gay, let's start with you. Yes or no?
Our DEI efforts are about ensuring that all of our
Okay, so that's a no.
members
Okay, the
welcome.
doctor, I'm sorry, Ms. Miguel. Yes or no? If it's found to be a link between Marxist, BLM, Antifa, and hate groups. Yes or no?
Our DEI office is committed to having everyone
Okay, so
thrive.
no. All right, and Ms. Cornworth, real quick, just yes or no, sorry.
I find it hard to understand how equity and inclusion as a
Okay,
concept
that's a no.
is a
Okay,
hatred inducer.
Thank you so much. I think that says a lot. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate it.
You can give an answer in writing, and I have to remind members not to engage in personalities.